right, I want to go straight out to my very special guest. I am so delighted to have with me tonight Tom Mesereau, who was a defense attorney who defended very successfully Michael Jackson in the child molestation trial. And I was there. I watched Tom Mesereau, and I always said, if I'm ever in legal trouble, I'm going to call Tom Mesereau. I want him on my speed dial. This has so many parallels, Tom, to Michael Jackson. So many people during the Michael Jackson criminal trial said, oh, he's going to get convicted, he's going to get convicted, it's all over. And he was acquitted of everything. Your thoughts?
Well, thank you for the invitation. It's good to be on your show, Jane. There are some parallels. The media was very stacked against Michael Jackson from day one. They did nothing but try and report salacious information about him. I was attacked in my jury selection. I was attacked for the way I gave an opening statement, like Mr. Baez was. I made promises. I assumed burdens of proof. I made very specific representations. I was attacked at the end for allegedly not fulfilling all of my obligations. There was a lot of reporting about what was said on direct examination and little reporting about what happened on cross-examination. And you have to stay focused. You have to forget the media. You have to focus on 12 people and a judge. They're the ones who are going to really decide what happens. And I ignored the media as best I could. I was in bed very early every evening, up at 3 o'clock every day. You couldn't find me in a restaurant or a bar. I knew where to focus, and that was the courtroom. I think Mr. Baez did the same thing. I think he just ignored these silly, jealous, immature pundits who were dissecting everything he did in a very immature way. And in the end, he had the last laugh. He got the job done, and I commend him for it.
I think people who are in the media vortex, and we're here talking about it, we forget that the jurors aren't hearing any of that. They're having a completely different experience about this trial than we are. Would you say?
Well, the jurors in Jackson were not sequestered. They were in this case. Nevertheless, I think jurors take their job very, very seriously. First of all, they're under oath. People who watch TV are not under oath. Okay, they're under oath because they have a life in their hands. They know what they're being asked to do to a human being and the family and people around that human being. In this case, it was a death penalty case. They also know that they are under oath to follow the judge's instructions at all times, to listen very carefully and intently to what is said, to watch how it's said, to observe these witnesses very, very intuitively, instinctively, with every power they have. And their perspective is a very responsible one and a very serious one. They're not voyeurs just turning on television.
If you had to, we have 20 seconds. What was the biggest mistake the prosecution made?
I think they were arrogant. I think they were absolutely cocksure that they were going to win this case. I think the laughing prosecutor was a disgrace. That's exactly what jurors don't want to see and hear. I think the defense were humble and professional and decent, and they knew how to communicate with the jury. And let's face it, they picked a good jury, too. I wasn't in the courtroom, but clearly they picked a jury that was receptive to their arguments, and they won the case hands down.
Well, Tom, I am so delighted to have you on tonight, and it's great to see you again. I saw one of the best attorneys at work when I saw you representing Michael Jackson, and please come back very soon.